Welcome back to this tutorial on the introduction to content marketing and blogging for businesses. Today we're going to be doing a deep dive introduction into the world of content marketing and exploring the benefits it has to offer and discuss how blogging can help achieve your business goals. We're going to be sharing some information in this introduction, but we're going to be building a lot more strategies over these topics. But the importance about this video is understanding the basics and the impact that this particular topic has for your business. What is content marketing? Content marketing is a strategic marketing approach focused on creating and distributing valuable, relevant, and consistent content to attract and retain a clearly defined audience, ultimately driving profitable customer actions. Why is content marketing important? Well, I kind of just touched on it there, but building trust with your audience is a key aspect. Content builds relationships. Relationships build trust, and trust drives revenue. Content marketing provides value to your customers, which on the long term is going to allow you to overall have a strategy that allows you to warm up and nurture your customers regularly, increasing your conversion rates over time. Blogging is a key component of content marketing. Firstly, what is blogging? Blogging is the process of creating and publishing and sharing written content on your website. Typically, this information is quite informal and conversational in style. However, it's important to note that blogging is just one of the small aspects to get valuable content out there. Why is blogging essential for businesses? Well, for starters, it drives traffic to your website. When you have traffic to your website, you're able to generate leads. And if you can have a good CTA or call to action on your blog, you'll be able to get leads from the content you're publishing. So it kills two birds with one stone. You're able to generate leads from this content as well as nurture and educate people in your audience. Businesses that blog consistently receive 97% more inbound links, was a study that HubSpot did a few years ago. Blogging on your website is a great way to enhance your online presence and reputation. It encourages customers to engage and build a community between your brand and the customers or potential customers you have in your audience. Blogging and content marketing also is a great way for long-term growth and scalability. This content is always going to be available online, which means that once you create it once, it's always going to be there to help educate and inform people for years to come. Implementing content marketing and blogging. Develop a content marketing strategy. Set goals and objectives to make sure that you keep on track and consistent with what you do here. Consistency is key. An example of some of the goals you might want to set is things like increase website traffic by 20% in 6 months. That's a very doable goal. And by doing that, you can also start to see that if you start to replace 20% of your website traffic, that's 20% more budget back into your PPC, cost per ads. Because remember, blogging is a way to build organic, free clientele. It's important to define your target audience and create buyer personas. Buyer personas allow you to understand the reasons people are taking action, so you can create educational content that leads people to get to the position or the psychological state they're in for when they're ready to buy sooner. And the thought process behind that is that if you can help them learn the things they need to know to solve the problem they have, they'll want to buy from you instead of a competitor because they'll have built a relationship of trust that you know what you're talking about. It's important to conduct keyword research. Know that the videos that you're making, the content you're creating, and the blogs you're creating all have the right search terms that you're solving. You don't want to create content for things that people aren't having a problem with or that they're not searching for. It's important to go to tools like Google Keyword Planner and SEMrush to analyze what are people actually searching for to be able to get those searches answered in the content you create. This is how you're going to generate content ideas. Again, sometimes you may not know the reasons why people take action, but understanding the searches they're making will get you a step in the door of understanding the psychology behind why they need your help and the education that they're looking for in order to take action. Creating a content calendar is important to be able to keep consistency with what you're posting. Tools like Trello and Asana and Google Sheets are going to be able to allow you and your team or anyone else that's working on this to be able to help you get your blogging and content made. Measure and analyze results and analytics. It's important that you make sure that you understand the growth you're having month on month. Remember, content marketing and blogging isn't an instant reward. It's a long-term play. You can start to use these valuable bits of content in your email campaigns. You can start to share it on socials. And as your Google authority grows, they'll start to display for the keywords that you're trying to solve the problems for in the valuable content you create. Over a long period of time, you're going to see some huge results of a lot more people trying to utilize the benefits of your content. Tools like Google Analytics, social media analytics, and email marketing analytics will help you understand the impact that people are getting from the content you're creating to make sure that what you're creating isn't just a waste of time. Creating compelling content. Marketing is no longer about the stuff that you make, but about the story you tell in the process of making it. Use various content formats, blog posts, video, infographics, podcast, whatever it is, to be able to tell the story of solving the problems in the valuable way you do it. Remember, you don't want to have value that turns into call to actions to do business. You want to be able to give value so people see you as just a source of value. They'll eventually start to trust your brand enough to do business with. Resources like Canva are going to be able to help you create a lot of this content to be able to produce value. Leverage user-generated content. Now, this is important to understand. For many businesses, this is an unstoppable force, but for some, it just doesn't quite work. But tactics like using social media contests, customer reviews, and case studies are going to be able to allow you to manipulate your previous customers slightly to be able to share your reputation and the value that you can provide on the service or product level of what you do. Incorporate data-driven insights to what you do in social media contests and customer reviews to be able to share this onwards so people can trust the brand. Remember, once you provide value to a potential customer, the next thing they need to see is the trust that your service is actually good and that they can trust that you're going to do a good quality service for them. So we want to provide value, then show how good we are, not tell them, but show them how good we are before we ask for their business. Maintaining consistency in the quality and frequency of how we do this content and how we do this value is going to be important to make sure that people actually trust that you're not just trying to sell them, that they actually know that you're trying to help them solve a problem. A tip for businesses just starting out to develop and incorporate some of these things. Developing an editorial style guide or a brand guide and sticking to it is going to be really important for people to be able to remember who you are and what you do and the value you've provided for them. It's also important to potentially implement a published schedule where content comes out regularly at the same times. This will make it easy for your team to be able to implement and for people to be able to remember when to come back to check out the next bits of value. Things like weekly newsletters, things like weekly posts that are all centered around a particular type of topic. That way people that are interested in that topic will know to come back on these days to get more info. Let's talk about promoting your content. Leverage social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Pinterest, and even TikTok to utilize promoting your content. It's important to be able to not just create content, but to get people actually reading it. Now, the thing is you can do things like email marketing to share the value content you do. The problem with this is that most businesses do it wrong. They start to send all of the value to every single client in the database, instead of finding out what groups of people you have in your database and what their problems are and what they're trying to solve. I always like to use a real estate example for this, where if I have people that are looking for apartments that are 2-bedroom, I shouldn't then be sending them emails for 5 and 6 bedroom townhouses because they're looking for apartments. So if I know they're looking for apartments, I can change the communication I do in emails so that I'm not sharing valuable content. It's important to understand that what you see as valuable might not be valuable to someone else. So you need to understand the leads that are in your database are people. They have a problem that needs to be solved, and it's your job to find out what that problem is early on so that you can start providing the value that's relevant to them. Some other things you can do is reach out to influencers and industry experts. Utilize the trust that they have with their audience or the expertise that they've already displayed to attach that to your brand. It can definitely fast track the process of being able to get this going. Another thing you can do is engage in guest blogging and collaborations. Collaborating with other brands that help people that might have a similar problem to you but aren't direct competitors of yours can be a great way to grow your network and be able to show the value you can have to people. A great example of businesses collaborating is doing things like podcasts together or blogging on each other's website, sharing the value each other have. Now, another way to do it is through email marketing. Being able to share an email with a call to action to do business or to learn from the other brand is a great way of doing it. Something that we do regularly is we help businesses mainly with their marketing, and we help businesses somewhat with their CRM and their automations to be able to make sure that their business is performing as high and well as it could. Although when we go to do partnerships and collaborations, we partner with coaches that help businesses with their mindset, which is something that we don't really do. But anyone that's going and paying for coaching in their mindset for their business or for their employees probably will have a big database of clients that will have a huge amount of value for what we have to offer too. But it's important to note that if you can find collaborations that work back and forth and you can harness those collaborations long term, you'll be able to get a lot of value from being able to do free and very cost-effective ways of generating and providing value for audiences through content like emails and blogging, and sharing content from each database together. Investing in paid advertising. Now, one of the last things I want to talk about is investing in paid advertising, if it's necessary. Things like Google ads, Facebook ads, and LinkedIn ads can allow you to harness and continue that meaning of sharing the value out. And yes, you're paying for the content to go out in front of people. Sometimes, if you have mastered the value going into a call to action, that can be a great way to fill your audience up. A great example of this is businesses that have things like webinars or ebooks. If you have an ebook and it has a good call to action for the people who buy that ebook, for them to then become a client later on because of the value that was in that ebook, then you can run Google ads, Facebook ads, and LinkedIn ads to just sell the ebook and all the value that's around that ebook. We do things like free ebooks online or free reports. They have a bunch of value in them, and they also have a call to action. This allows us to gather the person's email list so that we can start providing more value to them. And what we do from there is, yes, it costs us money to generate that lead, but we know that over a certain amount of time, a certain percentage of them become clients. And it's about time that you start thinking about how to diversify the ways you generate leads. Because sometimes running ads saying this is what we do and this is how we help people isn't going to get you business. But actually providing a report, an ebook, a free webinar that does provide value to them is all the client needs to be able to see that you're the right business to solve their problems. In conclusion, by harnessing the power of content marketing and blogging, businesses can unlock their full potential, building trust and credibility with their audience while driving traffic and revenue growth. Remember this quote while thinking about how to strategize content marketing and blogging and providing value. The reason we struggle with content marketing is because we haven't started with a why. Customers don't care about your vanity metrics. Ask them, how can I help? This quote here sort of explains the idea of being able to understand that if you can actually help the client before you try and show that you want to do business with them, they're going to be much more receptive to becoming a client. As I said before, things like ebooks, webinars, reports, and blogs are a great way to be able to show the client the value you have to offer. They are more receptive and have an emotional attachment to your brand. Thank you so much for joining us for this introduction to the tutorial. I hope you found these insights valuable and are now equipped with a little bit more knowledge to implement content marketing and blogging strategies for your business to succeed in the future. Start by developing a strong content marketing strategy and create compelling content that resonates with your audience. Promote it effectively and reach the right people. Remember, you've got to truly find how can you solve the problem for your audience. Showing them that you know how to solve the problem by teaching them how to do it themselves might just be the thing they need to see to have the emotional connection with your brand to want to move forward. Good luck with your content marketing journey, and I look forward to taking you through more strategies.